So a couple of techniques for creating animation out of flat design characters. So here, for instance, this cat is made with just a couple of like outlines in the middle. And what I mean, if this would be like a totally whole outline character, then in Illustrator it's called stroke. So I would then put stroke here. So outline and stroke are basically synonyms. So that answers the earlier question about what is outline. So that's outline. Also, in animating characters without outlines, there's the additional plus that whenever you show these characters from closer up, the outline itself won't get won't become fatter like it would be with with outline characters, because that might sometimes look weird. Okay, so this cat character is on one single layer, but maybe I would like to have the tail as a separate layer so that I can then move the tail separately. So I think you have, I've shown this to you before. But I'm thinking also if I should save one version of the cat only on one layer, and then another version of the cat with the tail detached. So maybe I'll do that. Right. So let's select everything on this layer by clicking here in Illustrator. Then I'll Control C the cat, create a new layer. I guess I could have just duplicated this layer, but yeah, let's do it this way now. So now I have a new empty layer, and there's my cat. Let's make the previous cat invisible. And now I want to still cut the tail of the cat and put that also on a separate layer. There we go. And so that things will be clear to me in later on in After Effects, I will name these layers like tail. Okay, let's see if I can do other things here with these other characters. Okay, for instance, yeah, actually I've already put this character on different layers. There's the original sketch, which I'm going to make invisible now. And I've also cut a little bit, I've used the artboard tool in order to cut it smaller. The artboard borders are actually here, but they are not so easy to see. Anyway, you can see that the character's head is on one layer here. Then I have, well, I was lazy, so I just copied one arm and that was in the front and then put it on the back. And I made a small texture there for the coat. And then the legs and the body are all on one layer because they are not going to move. But I'm going to move the arms of this lady, and maybe the head will nod a little bit. So the principle is that you think about what you want to move when you create the character, and then put different things on different layers according to that. And here, yeah, I did make a walk cycle just for the fun of it. So here the head is again on one layer, and here I should have made actually the head better, because see, this is the problem. I should have made the hair go all the way here, so then it would give me better chance to make the head move. But she's a kind of lady who doesn't move her head much when she walks. Also, the bag is on another layer because I wanted it to swing a little bit in a different rhythm to the arm, because that's what bags do according to gravity. Anyway, questions about this before we go into After Effects? Do you want some time to make like a very simple character of your own? Okay, so let's have a small pause. Let's see if I can find the pause recording here now. And let's continue. So what I wanted to still remind you of was, because we're going to try out two completely different animation techniques. That's why I have made like two versions of, for instance, this crow character. There's one where I have separated the head and the body into two parts, into two layers, I mean. And then there's one layer where the crow is all there. And by the way, it's in the wrong place. It will be cut away, part of the tail, if it's outside of the like artboard. So I will move it back. There we go. So now it should be visible all the way through. And I have named the layers accordingly, like, okay, the crow is varis in Finnish, so this crow where everything is there, it's koko varis, like all the crow, or the whole crow. Then the body is in Finnish vartalo, and head is pää. So these are reminders for myself when I take them into After Effects, that I remember what's on each of the layers. I like to remind myself of these things. And also, if I'm going to maybe edit this after a couple of weeks or months, then it's nice that the me of the past has helped the future me with remembering things. Okay, I'll open up After Effects. Oh, and by the way, have I remembered to save all my files here in Illustrator? Of course I haven't, so I'll save them again. Save this, save the red cats. Save the woman with the ponytail. I'm going to use this ponytail woman as a bad example, by the way, like what should not be done. And you'll see why pretty soon. And I'll save this one too. And then let's go to After Effects. And a new project, please. And first of all, I'm going to import all my assets here by double-clicking the project window. And now it's important to not to import it as footage, but as composition so that it retains the layer sizes. So I'll import each of these like that. So let's see if I can do all of it at once. Footage, composition, layer sizes. This one also composition, retain layer sizes. Here, instead of footage, composition, retain layer sizes, and here's the ponytail woman, also composition, retain layer sizes. Import. And there we go. There they are. And I'll create a new composition, and I'll start with a cat. Or maybe with a crow. Cat or crow? Cat. Okay. Okay, so new composition. And maybe 25 seconds is a bit long. 20 might be enough. The idea is to nest these small animations that you make into the longer composition like you have done before in this class or in this course. And because of that, I'm also going to put the nesting options here: preserve frame rate when nested, preserve resolution when nested. It's a bit of a bother that they are here, that you always have to remember to click in the advanced functions. And the size, it's the preset 1920 times 1080 pixels, HD, 25 frames per second. And I don't need the 3D renderer. So, okay. And let's see, where is my cat? There's one cat. There's at least the tail. But where is the cat with the... Ah, there. So I'll start with the cat that has all... with the cat layer that has everything, because what I first want to show you is the Puppet pin tool, which is the new thing for you today. So I'll just import it here. Okay, do you want me to go slower? Or
Yes,
do
yes.
you need some time to import your own assets, I guess?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make a small round again here in the classroom. Okay, let's get going in After Effects. So yeah, as I was saying, I forgot that we could have made these characters directly in After Effects, maybe using the pen tool, but yeah, it's maybe just that I don't like drawing with the pen tool much. When I do vectors, I like the freer tools like the paintbrush or the blob brush or the pencil tools. And Anyway, yeah, I want to animate this cat in a simple way by using the puppet pin tool. And this is now the cat that was all on one layer. Remember when I asked you to save one version that is on just one layer. If you don't have one, then you might want to use the, because if you have imported them as, well, as the compositions, then you should be also able to like just put the composition in here. Okay, let's see if I have, there's the woman with the ponytail. I'll just get rid of one of the layers here. I don't really need this layer, so I'll just throw it out. Yes, I delete that one. So here I'm not importing the layer with the lady. I'm just importing the composition itself like this. So that's one thing you can do if you don't have like your character that would be on would be only on one layer. Okay, but I'll make the lady now invisible for a while, and let's concentrate on the red cat. And for the puppet pin tool to work, I need to double click on the layer and get into the layer viewing mode. You might remember that from when we used the paint tool earlier. So I'll double click on the layer, and now, as you can see, there's the bluish timeline, and I'm clearly in the layer mode or layer viewing mode. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create these puppet pins that are found here with the puppet pin tool. And I'm going to use the pins to move the parts of the cat that I want to move, which is the tail and also maybe the head. So the cat already has this long neck, which makes moving it back and forth easy, or should make it anyway. Okay, so under the puppet pin tool, you find many other tools. There's an advanced pin tool, which I'm afraid I have forgotten how to use, by the way. But so I will show you the position pin tool and the starch pin tool. And yeah, so basically I want to start putting pins on the places that I want to move. So let's put one on the nape of the neck of the cat, where it would move its head naturally around. Then I put one on its nose. This is too much on the nose. Bad pun. Anyway, then I think the abnormally long neck of this cat would be moving from here to here. And I'm going to stabilize the cat with a couple of more pins here in the body. And I need to put some puppet starch pin tools so that not everything will be bending. You'll see what I mean pretty soon. And I can get rid of each of these pins whenever I want. So here, maybe also over here, like, and the tail is going to bend maybe from, yeah, so a cat actually has lots of vertebrae in its tail, but I'll just put 2 pins here. And now I can test how it bends before I start actually animating it. And the way that we animate with the puppet pins is that we move them directly. and there is a record button that we press before that. But now I can test how it goes. Like click on my mouse and hold the mouse down, and then I see how it will move. Okay, as you can see, it's affecting also part of the body. So I need to check that out. Once I've moved it, I use Control and Z, sorry, to put the tail where it used to be. And maybe you would like to see the mesh. Here we go. So that is where the program is placing the pins, actually. And I can also say what the expansion of the mesh is, if it's very tight, if it's like, now it's less than the cat. And now part of the cat is not moving at all because the expansion is minus. So that's not a good idea. So let's put the expansion to 3. It's about the pixels. Then I can also make the mesh more dense, which will then use more power from the computer, of course. A bigger chance of crashing the program, by the way. So now I need to try out the head. Here, because I have 2 pins, I need to like shift click on both of these in order to move the whole head at once. And I'm not worried that it goes outside because yeah, this is just a layer, and there's a room in the composition. Yeah, this works pretty nicely, I guess. Also, the rest of the body is not too much affected. So let's try putting some starch pins there. If I don't want, for instance, the head shape to change, or I don't want too much changes here, I can starch part of them. So let's see if this works differently. Now I'm just grabbing 1 pin here. Yeah, it's okay-ish. So each pin can be separately animated, or they can be animated together. And I always go back to the original position by Control Z here. And if I'm looking what has happened in the timeline, you can see that the puppet is actually an effect, and it's created something called the puppet engine. And if I click open what says mesh 1, then, and here deform, here are my puppet pins. And here's also a place where I can later on handle the animation like 1 keyframe at a time if I want to, but I don't want that. I want to move my cat puppet freely. Okay, are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start animating. Let's get to the fun part. So how to animate this? There is, like I said, you press a button for the recording, and then you have these record options that are maybe nice to check first. So I put a little bit of smoothing there, maybe 21. And use draft deformation, that's good. The speed is now like exactly the same as the speed I'll be moving my my hand. But I can also make it quicker or like faster by putting the speed, for instance, into 50% or to 150 or 200%. Okay, but let's try it out first with the like normal speed. So it's 20 seconds long. So I'll let the cat be in peace maybe for 1 second first. And here I will start my animation. So I want to move the head and also move the tail. And I think I'll move the head and neck for both. Okay, and I need the record button, and on a PC it's the control. On a Mac it would be the like command button. Okay, so anyway, when you have pressed control and keep it pressing, then you should see a clock when you're near or close to one of the puppet pins. If you don't see a clock, then you don't have the record on. And keep pressing it and then start moving. And I try to get back to my original position of the cat. And here now you can see that it has made some deformations. There are keyframes. Let's check what it looks like. And I'll go back to the composition now to see if I've overstepped my limits. Okay, you can see that it goes over the edge. But I could remedy that by simply making the cat smaller. There's the properties. So I could just scale the cat. I'm not making any keyframes for the scaling. Okay, now I want to move the tail. So I go back in time to where I don't want it to be just in the right same time when it starts moving its tail, because that will look a little bit too mechanical. So back to the layer view where I can see the puppet pins and the mesh. And now I'm back here in a little bit less than 1 second, and I'll click on this pin and click on record and start moving the cat's tail. And I think it's better to have one more pin here for the tail movement, by the way. I'm not quite happy with this. Yeah, it should have one more pin. Okay, I'll just Control Z and get rid of this tail movement and create a new pin here. And now yeah, this is more of what I'm looking for. So once more, press Control and record the action. And go back to where it was. So now let's see what it would look like. I mean, yeah, I'm not totally happy with that, but I guess it's good for this example, like clear enough. Then I wanted to show you why the woman with the ponytail was so bad. So let's make the cat invisible, and then oh, the woman was there already. Yes. So here's my woman with a ponytail. So let's see how she reacts to these puppet pins. again, I'm in the layer mode, and now I'm starting to set my pins. Here would be her. She has a very short neck, short and fat neck woman. Okay, I think this might still work. I was fearing that the mesh, that the hand and the ponytail, that the mesh might mix together, but yeah, it actually might work better than I thought. Let's see. There still might be some problems. So let's put pins on her like shoulders, also here on the wrists. And I'm not going to move the legs, but I need to have some stabilization there in her pelvis and her legs, so that these pins won't move the legs. Okay, so this is how I would also normally pin a human body. All right, and I have to remember the starch pins as well, so that things won't be like stretched too much. I mean, some stretching is usually nice in animation, but if you overdo it, then it will just look weird. Okay. And also I want to starch the face a bit, but the hair could stretch. Let's see how this would work. In other words, I'll test it. Okay, so now when I'm moving this, then yeah, you can see the problems here, maybe. Well, they're actually not as big as I feared. It's moving pretty smoothly, but as you can see, it's pretty. I have to be careful that the movement doesn't go overboard, because the illustration is made in a way that it doesn't allow the woman to bend her arms like this. So this looks just terrible, like she has broken her arm or something. But of course, if the animation is about her breaking her arm, then that would be different. And you might also notice that if you put things in front of each other, then they might not always go as you'd like. And that's why there's the puppet overlap pin tool, which I'm not going to explain here, but just that you know that it's there. You can figure it out yourself, I think. Okay, and here the ponytail is also moving. Yeah. So I did plan beforehand, like which parts of this woman I would like to move, and which I didn't. And as I said, I had the fear that the mesh would go too close with the ponytail and the hand, and I could show you how that would happen by expanding the mesh a little bit. Like if I expand it into 9, for instance. Okay, it's still quite clean, actually. When would it overlap? 24? Yeah, here you can see how it overlaps. So don't put too much expansion. But this might happen if your character has its limbs too close to the body. So this is one way of animating, or one more way of animating in After Effects, this puppet pin tool, and it has its uses, especially with these kinds of flat design characters. Okay, I'll have a short break in the recording here. One tip that I wanted to share, by the way, that I mean, I showed it, but I didn't actually talk about it. I usually make my assets, be it in Photoshop or Illustrator or wherever I make them for After Effects, I make them as big as possible. So so here all of these characters are like really large in comparison with the final pixel measurements of the After Effects composition. So what I saw here in Classroom, at least, was that many of you had made your character in Illustrator like very tiny. So as they are, well, vector characters, you can just blow them up but just see to it that they are within the document borders. Otherwise, they will be cut off. I mean, the puppet pin tool, it rasterizes the character, so it won't be a vector character anymore in the sense that how it's rendered. So that's why it's a good idea to have the characters as big as possible when you use the puppet pin tool.
I think mine came out really blurry when I put it on.
Yeah, that's why it becomes blurry, because it will rasterize, and if it's very small, then it will rasterize even more. So make sure that the characters are big and fat. Okay, I gave myself the time limit of being ready by 12. Let's see how this goes. Am I sharing in my screen in Zoom, by the way? I have a feeling that I'm not sharing.
No, you're not sharing.
Okay, sorry. I'm doing it now then. Okay, and I was here showing all kinds of things and not sharing. Anyway, so if you notice that a teacher does this on Zoom, then just shout out and, hey, you're not sharing. Something like that. Or maybe be more polite. I wouldn't be, but I'm me. I'm sure teachers used to love me at university, always shouting out things. Anyway, let's try out the parenting thing. So not with actual children though. So I create a new composition to show you that. And yeah, I didn't name the composition, which would have been like the intelligent thing to do, but I was kind of in a hurry. Okay, here I have the character with the coat. Where is she? Where are her layers? Over there. So I could just be very quick and just move this whole folder on the timeline like this. And now all of the woman is there, and also things that I didn't want, like the sketch. So I need to get rid of the sketch. And as you can see that the woman is also in well, her head is in the crotch, for instance. I wouldn't like that. Okay, so let's move the Oh, and I still have puppet pin tool on. So here, the selection tool. I'll move the layers where they should be. And I think I'll change the name of this one layer into arm 1. And this other one might be body. And this would be arm 2. So where are they? This would be the like arm that I wanted to be on top of the body. So it should go here. And can somebody remember what my next step will be here? What should I do with these limbs? Like big hint, if I try to rotate them, this is what happens. They rotate from the wrong place. So what should I do?
Was it to change the anchor, the center part where it's
The anchor. Exactly. So there's the pan behind tool, which I'm using now to change so that it will rotate in the right place. Yeah, this looks better. And I'll do the exact same with the other arm. And with the head. And as you notice, the woman is in the wrong position and too big, so I need to change that pretty soon. But let's change where the head rotates to the nape of the neck. Like if I show it here in the classroom, when you move your head and you put your finger to your neck, then you notice that there is this specific place where all the movements come from, and that's the nape of your neck, like where the neck and the skull come together. So that's where you should put the head pin. And that is true also for 3D, by the way. Okay, there's one arm and there's the other. And I'll put some like basic rotation here, like where do I want the rotation to start? R is for rotation. And now I need to parent them together. So here's the parent and link. And I'm going to use the pick whip, the parent pick whip. So I need to attach the head and the arms to the body. So I'll just drag the pick whip from the arm into the body like this, from the other arm as well, and also from the head. So now everything is parented to the body and the body is parented to nothing. Like some people like to still make one null object where they parent also the body. And well, I'm often too lazy to do that, I need to say, but let's make it the like clean way. So here, layer, new null object, and the null should usually be, well, actually there's no place it should be, but where I put it usually is the like pelvis area. There is an Asian belief that a person's soul actually lives in the in the like in your middle area, just behind your navel. So, and that's also where all the movement in animation comes from in a human body. Like this is in animation. This is like this place is like the soul of the person. And I've read that actually we have a small brain in our gut. Like there is a clump of brain cells that thinks for itself. So I think there's something like the Asians are onto something here, saying that the soul lives in the gut and not in the head. But yeah, that was actually not part of this lesson. So I'll parent the body to the null. And now whenever I move the null object, the rest of the woman follows. And now also, let's go to the properties. Now when I scale the null object, also everything in the woman should follow. And yeah, you know already enough about how to keyframe animations, so I don't need to show you how to keyframe the movement of the arms or the head. You know that. And I think basically I've shown you some version of parenting earlier in this course, so it's not that new. Maybe before we stop, I wanted to show you one more technique. Let's have for animating things if you're in a real big hurry. Okay, I'll make a bit of text here. Text here. And let's change the pivot point to the middle. There's something called, let's go see, motion sketch, which gives you the possibility of animating things like just by moving them directly. So I put a bit of smoothing here. You remember the capture speed already from the puppet pin tool. But so here I have to first plan a bit for, like, where does the movement start from and where does it go? So maybe if I started from here and then it goes like a wave over the woman and then comes back and settles over here. Okay, so let's start capturing. Okay. There we go. And I'm also looking at the timeline, how much time I've got to settle in. There we go. And I put quite a lot of smoothing now into the motion, as you can see. And fit it. There we go. That's the motion sketch. It might look better by the way, with some toggle switches. Here we have the motion blur. Yeah, remember motion blur. You can also put it in elsewhere, like in your puppet pin animation. So text here, motion blur. And let's see, it should look smoother now. Yeah, better with motion blur. And all of the keyframes are there. So I can basically change them wherever I want them to be, or put some, add maybe some ease-ins with the keyframe assistant. You remember the ease-ins? I hope you do, because those are pretty important also for your organic animation to look smooth. And yeah, I'm not too much over time. It's 12:06. Any questions or problems? I'll stop the recording now.